Welcome back, faith builders. We continue a journey through the first book of Adam and Eve, exploring chapters 71 to 79, this season's final. These chapters are filled with profound lessons on resilience, faith, and the human spirit's strength. The end of the first book. Let's dive in. Our story resumes in chapter 71. When Adam heard these words from Satan, he was sorrowed because of his oath and promise, and said, "Shall I commit adultery with my flesh and my bones? And shall I sin against myself, for Elohim to destroy me, and to blot me out from off the face of the earth?" Adam spoke of all he had been through since he transgressed and left the garden, and how Elohim would cast him into hell. But Elohim never spoke the words "Thou hast told me." And ye are not Elohim's angels, nor yet sent from him, but ye are devils, come to me under the false appearance of angels. Away from me, ye cursed of Elohim. Then those devils fled from him, and he and Eve arose and returned to the cave. Adam said to Eve, "I have sinned against Elohim, and swearing by his name, and have placed my hand another time into that of Satan." Then Adam arose and spread his hands towards Elohim, beseeching and entreating him with tears, to forgive him what he had done. And Adam remained thus standing and praying 40 days and 40 nights. He neither ate nor drank until he fell upon the earth from hunger and thirst. Then Elohim sent his word unto Adam, raised him, and said, "O Adam, why hast thou sworn by my name? And why hast thou agreed with Satan another time?" Adam wept and said, "O Elohim, forgive me, for I did this unwittingly, believing they were Elohim's angels." And Elohim forgave Adam, saying to him, "Beware of Satan." And he withdrew his word, and Adam was comforted. He took Eve, and they went out of the cave to make some food for their bodies. But from that day, Adam struggled about his wedding to Eve, afraid as he was to do it, lest Elohim should be wroth with him. They went to the river of waters and sat at the bank, but Satan was jealous of them and would destroy them. Chapter 72. Then Satan and his hosts transformed themselves into maidens, unlike any other in the whole world for grace. They came up out of the river in presence of Adam and Eve, and said among themselves, "Look at their faces, who are men upon earth. How beautiful and different they are from us." Then they came closer and greeted them, and stood wondering at them. Adam and Eve looked at them also, and wondering at their beauty, and said, "Is there then under us another world with such beautiful creatures as these in it?" And the maidens said, "Yes, indeed, we are an abundant creation." Then Adam said to them, "How did you multiply?" And they answered, "We have husbands who wedded us, and we bear children who grow up, and in turn wed and are wedded, and also bear children, and thus we increase. O Adam, thou wilt not believe us. We will show you our husbands and children." They shouted over the river to call their husbands and children, and everyone came to his wife and children being with them. They came to Adam and Eve, "See our husband and children, wed Eve and you shall have children, same as we." This was a device of Satan to deceive Adam. Therefore Satan worked this apparition before Adam and Eve, because he sought to kill him and to make him disappear from the face of the earth. Meanwhile, the fire of sin came upon Adam, and he thought of sin, but he restrained himself, fearing that, if he followed the advice of Satan, Elohim would put him to death. Then they arose and prayed to Elohim, and Satan and his hosts departed into the river, in the presence of Adam and Eve, to let them see that they are going back to their regions. Adam and Eve went back to the cave as it was evening time. They stood and prayed to Elohim at night. But Adam remained standing, yet not knowing how to pray because of the thoughts of his heart regarding wedding of Eve, and he continued so until morning. And when morning, Adam said to Eve, "Arise, let's go below the mountain and ask Elohim about the matter." Then Eve said, "What is the matter, O Adam?" Adam answered, "That I may request Elohim to inform me about wedding thee, for I will not do so without his order, lest he make us perish. For those devils have set my heart on fire with thoughts of what they showed us in their sinful apparitions. Then Eve said, let us rather stand up and pray in our cave to Elohim to let us know whether this counsel is good or not. Then they prayed, and Adam explained everything to Elohim, and said, Elohim, take our souls from us. Let us be rid of this animal lust. And if no order respecting this thing, then sever Eve from me, and place us far apart. O Elohim, when thou hast put us asunder from each other, the devils will deceive us with their apparitions, and destroy our hearts, and defile our thoughts towards each other. Chapter 73. Elohim looked upon the words of Adam, and they were true, and that he could long await his order. And Elohim approved Adam in what he had thought concerning this, and in the prayer he had offered in his presence. And the word of Elohim came unto Adam and said, O Adam, and Elohim sent his angels, who brought gold, incense, and myrrh to Adam, that they should inform him respecting his wedding Eve. Then those angels said to Adam, take the gold and give to Eve as a wedding gift, and betroth her. Then give her some incense and myrrh as a present, and be ye thou and she one flesh. Adam hearkened to the angels, and did as he was told. Then the angels commanded Adam and Eve to arise and pray 40 days and nights. And after that, Adam should come into his wife, for then this would be an act pure and undefiled, and replenish the face of the earth. Adam and Eve received the words of the angels, and the angels departed from them. Then they began to fast and pray until the end of 40 days. And then they came together, as the angels had told them. And from that time Adam left the garden, until he wedded Eve, were 223 days. That is 7 months and 13 days. Thus Satan wars with Adam was defeated. Chapter 74. They continued working for the well-being of their bodies, and were so until 9 months of Eve's childbearing were ended, and the time drew near when she must be delivered. Eve said to Adam, this cave is holy. Let us go to the cave Satan hurled over us when he wished to kill us, and Elohim held it up and spread it as an awning over us and formed a cave. Then Adam removed Eve to that cave, and when the time came that she should bring forth, she travailed much. Adam was sorry, and his heart suffered for her sake, for she was nigh unto death, that the word of Elohim to her should be fulfilled. In suffering shalt thou bear a child, and in sorrow shalt thou bring forth thy child. But Adam, seeing the strait in which Eve was, he arose and prayed to Elohim, and said, O Elohim, look upon me with the eye of thy mercy, and bring her out of her distress. Elohim looked at his maidservant Eve, and delivered her, and she brought forth her firstborn son, and with him a daughter. Adam rejoiced in Eve's deliverance, and also the children she had borne him. Adam ministered unto Eve in the cave, until the end of 8 days, when they named the son Cain, and the daughter Luluwa. The meaning of Cain is hater, because he hated his sister in their mother's womb. But Luluwa means beautiful, because she is more beautiful than her mother. They waited until Cain and his sister were 40 days old, when Adam said unto Eve, we will make an offering and offer it up on behalf of the children. Eve said, we will make one offering for the firstborn son, and afterwards we shall make one for the daughter. Chapter 75. Adam prepared an offering. He and Eve offered it up for their children, and brought it to the altar they had built at first. And Elohim accepted Adam's offering, and sent a light from heaven, that shone upon the offering. But even the daughter did not approach unto it. They were joyful, and Eve waited until the daughter was 80 days old. Then they prepared the offering, and took it to the altar, offered it up. And Elohim accepted the offering of Adam and Eve. They all drew near together, and came down from the mountain, rejoicing. They returned to the cave of treasure, so that the children should go round it, and be blessed with the tokens brought from the garden. After being blessed by the tokens, they went back to the other cave in which they were born. Adam and Eve continued to pray at the cave of treasures until the children had done sucking. Adam made offerings for the souls of his children, other than the 3 times he made an offering for them every week. When the days of nursing the children were ended, Eve again conceived and brought forth another son and daughter, and they named the son Abel and the daughter Aclia. Adam made offerings for the son and daughter, just as he did Cain and Luluwa. He brought them to the cave of treasures where they received a blessing, and then returned to the cave where they were born. After the birth of these, Eve ceased from childbearing. Chapter 76. The children began to wax stronger and to grow in stature, but Cain was hard-hearted and ruled over his younger brother. Often when his father made an offering, he would remain behind and not go with them to offer up. But Abel had a meek heart and was obedient to his father and mother, whom he often moved to make an offering, because he loved it, and prayed and fasted much. Then came a sign to Abel, as he was coming to the cave of treasures, and saw the gold rods, the incense and myrrh. He inquired of his parents concerning them. Adam told him of all that had befallen them, and Abel felt deeply about what his father told him. Adam continued to tell him of the works of Elohim and the garden. After that he remained behind his father the whole of that night in the cave of treasures. That night, while he was praying, Satan appeared unto him under the figure of a man, and said to him, Thou hast oftentimes moved thy father to make an offering, to fast and pray. Therefore I will kill thee, and make thee perish from this world. But Abel prayed to Elohim, and drove away Satan from him, and believed not the words of the devil. Then by morning an angel of Elohim appeared unto him, sure to neither fasting nor praying, nor offering up an oblation unto Elohim, for he has accepted thy prayers. Be not afraid of the figure that appears unto thee at night, and who cursed thee unto death. And the angel departed from him. Abel came to Adam, and even told them of his vision, but hearing it, they grieved much over it, yet said nothing to him about it. They only comforted him. But hard-hearted Cain, Satan came to him by night, showed himself, and said unto him, Since Adam and Eve love thy brother Abel much more than they love thee, and wish to join him in marriage to thy beautiful sister Luluwa, because they love him, but wish to join thee in marriage to his ill-favoured sister Aclia, because they hated thee. Now I counsel thee, when they do that, to kill thy brother. Then thy sister will be left for thee, and his sister will be cast away. And Satan departed from him. But the wicked one remained behind in the heart of Cain, who sought many a time to kill his brother. Chapter 77. Adam saw that the elder brother hated the younger, so he endeavoured to soften their hearts, and said unto Cain, Take, O my son, of the first fruits of thy sowing, and make an offering unto Elohim, that he may forgive thee thy wickedness and thy sin. He said the same to Abel. Then Abel hearkened unto his father's voice, and took off his sowing, and a good offering, and said to his father, Come with me, to show me how to offer it up. They went to Adam, and Eve with him, and showed him how to offer up his gift upon the altar. Then after that, they stood up and prayed that Elohim would accept Abel's offering. The Elohim looked upon Abel and accepted his offering, and Elohim was more pleased with Abel than with his offering, because of his good heart and pure body. There was no trace of guile in him. They came down from the altar and went to the cave in which they dwelt. But Abel, because of his joy at having made his offering, repeated it 3 times a week, after the example of his father Adam. But as to Cain, he took no pleasure in the offering, but after much anger on his father's part, he offered up his gift once. And when he did offer, his eye was on the offering he made, and he took the smallest of his sheep for an offering, and his eye was again on it. Therefore Elohim did not accept his offering, because his heart was full of murderous thoughts. And they all lived in the cave in which Eve had brought forth, until Cain was 15 years old and Abel 12 years old. Chapter 78. Adam said to Eve, Behold, the children are grown up. We must think of finding wives for them. Eve answered, How can we do it? Adam said to her, We will join Abel's sister in marriage to Cain, and Cain's sister to Abel. Eve said to Adam, I do not like Cain, because he is hard-hearted, but let them bide until we offer up unto Elohim on their behalf. And Adam said no more. Meanwhile, Satan came to Cain in the figure of a man of the field, and said, Behold, Adam and Eve have taken counsel together about the marriage of you two, and they have agreed to marry Abel's sister to thee and thy sister to him. But if it was not that I love thee, I would not have told thee this thing. Yet if thou wilt take my advice and hearken to me, I will bring thee on thy wedding day beautiful robes, gold and silver in plenty, and my relations will attend thee. Then Cain said with joy, Where are thy relations? Satan answered, My relations are in the garden in the north, whither I once meant to bring thy father Adam, but he would not accept my offer. But if thou wilt receive my words and come unto me after thy wedding, thou shalt rest from misery in which thou art, and be better off than thy father Adam. At these words of Satan, Cain opened his ears and learnt towards Satan's speech. He did not remain in the field, but went to Eve, his mother, and beat her, cursed her, and said to her, Why are ye about taking my sister to wed my brother? Am I dead? His mother quieted him, and sent him to the field where he had been. Then when Adam came, she told him of what Cain had done. But Adam grieved and held his peace, and said not a word. By morning, Adam said to Cain his son, Take of the sheep, young and good, and offer them up Elohim. And I will speak to your brother, to make unto his Elohim an offering of corn. They both hearkened to their father Adam, and they took offering and offered them up on the mountain by the altar. But Cain behaved haughtily towards his brother, and thrust him from the altar, and would not let him offer up his gift upon the altar. But he offered his own upon it, with a proud heart, full of guile and fraud. But Abel set up stones that were near at hand, and upon that he offered up his gift with a heart humble and free from guile. Cain standing by the altar cried unto Elohim to accept his offering. But Elohim did not accept it, neither did a divine fire come down to consume his offering. But he remained standing over against the altar, out of humour and wrath, looking towards his brother Abel to see if Elohim would accept his offering or not. Abel prayed unto Elohim to accept his offering, and then a divine fire came down and consumed his offering. And Elohim smelled the sweet savour of his offering, because Abel loved him and rejoiced in him. Because Elohim was pleased with him, he sent him an angel of light in the figure of a man who had partaken of his offering, because he had smelled the sweet savour of his offering. And they comforted Abel and strengthened his heart. But Cain, looking on all that took place at his brother's offering, was wroth on account of it. Then he opened his mouth and blasphemed Elohim, because he had not accepted his offering. But Elohim said unto Cain, Wherefore is thy countenance sad? Be righteous, that I may accept thy offering. Not against me hast thou murmured, but against thyself. And Elohim rebuked Cain. And Cain came down from the altar, his colour changed, and of a woeful countenance, and came to his father and mother, and told them all that had befallen him. And Adam grieved much, because Elohim had not accepted Cain's offering. But Abel came down rejoicing and with gladsome heart, and told his parents how Elohim had accepted his offering. And they rejoiced at it and kissed his face. Abel said to his father, Because Cain thrust me from the altar, and would not allow me to offer my gift upon it, I made an altar for myself, and offered my gift upon it. Cain was so sullen and so angry, that he went to the field, where Satan came to him and said, Since thy brother Abel has taken refuge with thy father Adam, because thou didst thrust him from the altar, they have kissed his face, and they rejoice over him, far more than over thee. Cain, hearing these words from Satan, was filled with rage, and he let no one know, but he was laying wait to kill his brother, until he brought him into the cave, and then said to him, O brother, the country is so beautiful, and there are such beautiful and pleasurable trees in it, and charming to look at. But brother, thou hast never been one day in the field to take thy pleasure therein. Today, O my brother, I very much wish thou wouldest come with me into the field, to enjoy thyself, and to bless our fields and our flocks. For thou art righteous, and I love thee much. O my brother, thou hast estranged thyself from me. Then Abel consented to go with his brother Cain into the fields. But before going out, Cain said to Abel, Wait for me, until I fetch a staff, because of wild beasts. Then Abel stood waiting in his innocence. Cain fetched the staff, and went out. And they began, Cain and his brother, to walk in the way, Cain talking to him, and comforting him to make him forget everything. Chapter 79. They went on until they came to a lonely place where there were no sheep. Then Abel said to Cain, Behold, my brother, we are weary of walking, for we see none of the trees, nor the fruits, nor of the things of which thou didst tell me. Where are those sheep of thine thou didst tell me to bless? Cain said to him, Come on, and presently thou shalt see many beautiful things, but go before me until I come up to thee. Abel went forward, but Cain remained behind him. Abel walked in his innocence without guile, not believing his brother would kill him. Cain came close and comforted him with talk, walking a little behind, then hastened and smote him with the staff, blow upon blow, until he was stunned. But when Abel fell upon the ground, seeing that his brother meant to kill him, he said to Cain, O my brother, have pity on me, by the breasts we have sucked. Smite me not, by the womb that bare us, and that brought us into the world. Smite me not unto death with that staff. If thou wilt kill me, take one of the large stones, and kill me outright. Then Cain, hard-hearted and cruel murderer, took a large stone and smote his brother with it upon the head, until his brains oozed out, and he weltered in his blood before him. And Cain repented not of what he had done. The earth trembled as the blood of righteous Abel fell to the ground, and it drank his blood, and would have brought Cain to naught for it. The blood of Abel cried mysteriously to Elohim, to avenge him of his murderer. Cain began at once to dig the earth wherein to lay his brother, for he was trembling from the fear that came upon him when he saw the earth tremble on his account. He then cast his brother into the pit he made, and covered him with dust. But the earth would not receive him, but it threw him up at once, because he was not the first creation. The second time Cain drugged and buried Abel, but the earth threw him out, and did not receive him, because was righteous and good, and was killed without a cause. Cain drugged and buried Abel again for the third time, and the earth did not receive him, that there might remain before his brother a witness against him. So did the earth mock Cain, until the word of Elohim came to him concerning his brother. Then Elohim was angry and much displeased at Abel's death, and he thundered from heaven, and lightning went before him. And the word of Elohim came from heaven to Cain, and said unto him, Where is Abel thy brother? Cain answered with a proud heart and a gruff voice, How, O Elohim, am I my brother's keeper? Elohim said to Cain, Cursed be the earth that has drunk the blood of Abel thy brother. And now be trembling and shaking, and this will be a sign unto thee, that whosoever finds thee shall kill thee. But Cain wept because Elohim proclaimed such words to him, saying, I shall be blotted out from the face of the earth. Then Elohim said to Cain, Whosoever shall find thee shall no kill thee. Because before this Elohim had been saying to Cain, I shall forego 7 punishments on him who kills Cain. For as to the word of Elohim to Cain, Where is thy brother? Elohim said it in mercy, for him to try and make him repent. For if Cain had repented at that time, and had said, O Elohim, forgive me my sin, and the murder of my brother, Elohim would have forgiven him his sin. Elohim saying, Cursed be the ground that drunk the blood of Abel, was meet the curse should fall on the murderer. Yet in mercy did Elohim manage his thoughts. And Elohim said, Where is thy brother? Cain answered, I know not. Then the Creator said to him, Be trembling and quaking. Cain trembled and became terrified, and through this sign Elohim made him an example before all creation, as the murderer of his brother. The word of Elohim said, I will forego 7 punishments on whosoever kills Cain. Elohim was not seeking to kill Cain with a sword, but through fasting and praying and weeping by hard rule, until the time that he was delivered from his sin. The 7 punishments are 7 generations during which Elohim awaited Cain for the murder of his brother. But as to Cain, ever since he had killed his brother, he could find no rest in any place, but went back to Adam and Eve, trembling, terrified, and defiled with blood. The journey of Adam and Eve in this episode tells of how Elohim's mercies endure forever. Despite the wrong, Elohim is always willing to forgive, protect, and save his children, though even when fear grips and confusion sets in. Knowing that Elohim is there with you and always listening to your prayers of repentance and thanksgiving, I pray we believe in Elohim through his son Yeshua and understand that the Creator will never neglect his people. Remember, no matter the challenges we face, Satan's tricks and agendas are still the same, nothing new. And Elohim is the same, yesterday, today, and forever. Elohim holds his word dearly and keeps to what he has said. May the grace of Elohim continue to rest on you all. Amen. Thanks for joining us on this journey and final season. Don't forget to like, share, and hit that bell icon so as not to miss season 2. See you next time.